Hey everyone, Sirturmund here again, and today I wanted to showcase Red Gwen with Katarina. Now this is a deck that has been around now for a few months, so you might be very familiar with it, and the reason that I wanted to showcase it today is because if you missed out on the LoR Regional Worlds Qualifiers this weekend, this Gwen Katarina deck was the most popular deck across all the regions just because it has really good matchup tables. It feels like it really doesn't feel like it loses to anything specifically, and even the matchups that are slightly in favor for it, you still have ways to win just because of how many tools you have with this deck compared to other decks out there. So figure is worth showcasing again for some of you who might not have seen this deck or are looking for more tips on how to improve and navigate with this deck. It's one of the decks that I would recommend if you're looking to climb in ladder here as the season is winding down. Now, this deck has it all. It literally has it all. It does everything. Aggro, mid-range, control. It kind of has a little bit of everything to kind of make this deck as powerful as it is. So going down the list, we are playing triple host. It's just there to kind of give us the halo buff and just a really good early blocker against aggressive, and can push a lot of damage if the opponent doesn't block them. We play double Quietus, and this is some of the control tools that I was talking about. Lets us kill those Seraphines, those Viktors, those Heimers, those Noras. Is so good, especially because you can play it in a deck like this that's not really control. Then we're playing triple flock, another kind of control tool. The flock has a lot of synergy here because of the pinks that you have with Battle Feast or the Blaze Edge, and even can also synergize with the Sentry to be able to remove some of those pesky 4 health units like Viktor or like other Gwens, for example, or Vayne as well, right? Really good card to be able to deal with that. It's a really good tool to be able to deal with the massive decks. I do like playing one Shadow Out Tailstones, and I recommend people at least try one of these out in this list. I feel it's so good because all 3 of these spells can be really useful for what you want to do depending on the game state. For example, Mark of the Isles can be really good if you want to put it on your Katarina on your attacking turn. That way she's not vulnerable to like a Mystic Shot. So it's a nice way to counter like a Mystic Shot play by being able to play the Mark of the Isles on her, because she will level up before the Ephemeral actually kills her. You can also go for the Spirit Journey on something like the Fallen Reckoner to remove an additional opponent blocker, as well as get a Risen Reckoner in your hand, or you can do the Crumble on any of your units to be able to remove like the opponent's back alley bar or any critical landmark that they have like the Conservatory. So this card has so much flexibility, and I really like it as a one-off at the very least in this deck. Triple Glance for us to be able to draw. We have a lot of cards that we don't care about sacrificing. House Spiders for some early board presence and can push a lot of damage themselves, especially because even the little 1/1 Spiderling can get buffed up a lot by the halo buffs. We are playing triple Phantom Butler as well, fearsome, so a little bit harder for the opponent to deal with, as well as a halo card that can make a halo even stronger. Triple Battle Feast for some early defense, some early healing, some additional blocker. Double Sentry to be able to stun an opponent's critical attack turn, or in your attack turn, you can actually use this to remove an additional opponent's blocker. Really, this deck shines on being able to stop the opponent from having any meaningful blockers and just being able to push a lot of chip damage, even with your small units like the House Spiders. Because the Fallen Reckoner, the Risen Reckoner, and the Sentry, it can be very difficult for the opponent to actually have a lot of blockers. Now we have Katarina, which is one of the key cards of this deck. Now you'll notice that I'm playing triple Katarina personally, and I don't play one of the least, and that's because I find Katarina just carries this game. The games that I can actually level Katarina are usually the games that I'm absolutely winning, kind of running away with it, because she does so much for this archetype. She gives us the Blaze Edge that can synergize with the Flock, and then she also allows us to rally, which can actually synergize with the Open Foyer, and it's one of the reasons we're playing the Foyer in this version of the deck, because every time that you play a level of Katarina, you're actually summoning an additional Ghastly Band, so she can just put a lot of pressure and synergize with almost everything else in your deck. Then we go to the opening foil like we just talked about. I really like this card because it means that it's a card that kind of stops him from running out of resources, and all of a sudden your halo buffs is going to become really, really big in the graveyard because you're going to get multiple of these Ghastly Bands throughout the duration of the game. Additionally, like I said, it has the synergy with level up Katarina, which makes it really, really nice. Then we have triple Gwen. Gwen is there like a really good unit that can push a lot of damage, guarantees 2 damage to the Nexus, also kind of keeps you a little bit healthy, and it's really hard for the opponent to deal with because she has 4 health and she has quick attack, so she can put a lot of pressure on the opponent. We play Rune Reckoner, kind of like a pseudo Katarina. So the Rune Reckoner is for the games where you actually don't have leveled up Katarina, allowing you to actually do the Midnight Ray to be able to attack with Gwen, or be able to attack with your Fallen or Risen Reckoners to push that overgrown damage to allow you to push lethal damage. Opponent has to be very careful about tapping out of answers if you have 4 mana on their attack turn, because all of a sudden you can do a Rune Reckoner and just finish up the game. Then we have Fallen Reckoner, which is the MVP of this deck, allowing you to remove the opponent's blockers and lets you not run out of resources by continuously getting you the Risen Reckoner back in your hand, even after the first Fallen Reckoner dies. And then it synergizes really well if you can revive that with Eternal Dances for Harrowing, removing all of the opponent's blockers altogether. This is the card that I think Fire needs to nerf if they want this deck to get nerfed, because this card is kind of what's carrying this whole deck. Lastly, we kind of finish up with 2 combo pieces, which is Eternal Dances and Harrowing. Eternal Dances can bring back Katarina, whether it's level or level. Both of them are really valuable. If you do bring Katarina leveled up, then you're gonna have like an infinite thing going on. You can also bring back the Fallen Reckoner, which removes an opponent blocker and gives you another Risen Reckoner back in your hand, or you can just bring another Risen Reckoner, which kind of does the same thing, or you can bring back the Gwen, which is granting 2 damage, and then Harrowing kind of does the same thing as Eternal Dancers, except that it brings everything back, allowing you to just remove multiple blockers, bring back a level of Katarina, or unlevel Katarina, and just be able to push a ton of damage that the opponent cannot deal with. Usually you're finishing up games between the Fallen Reckoner or the Harrowing. Is your main 2 ways that you kind of finish up most of your games. But enough about that. Hope you enjoyed the games coming up soon, and if you do, make sure to like the video below and subscribe to us. We post LoR videos every single day. I'll see you at the end of the video for some mulligan tips. In this matchup, we're going against Seraphine, Viktor, and one of Karma. So it's going to be like back alley bar plus Seraphine and Karma as a backup. Honestly, the Fallen Reckoner is interesting. Katarina is going to be easily punished by a Mystic. However, keeping the Katarina increases my odds. I'm going to kick 1 Reckoner. I think 1 is fine. I think we want to keep the ball. I'm looking for the Mark of the Isles, right? So the reason that we play Mark of the Isles in this deck is exactly for this situation, so that the Mystic Shot cannot kill Katarina. Because remember, even if the opponent Mystic Shot, even if the Katarina has Ephemeral, she will still trigger her level up before she actually dies. Now, it will suck if the opponent has removal for this, because we don't have a normal for Glimpse. They decide not to. I'm pretty sure they have a High Note or a Mystic Shot, and they're just waiting for me to commit Katarina before they can do it. We don't get our things though. That's a little bit unfortunate. No need to block here, because I can just punish this with the Blaze Edge. I'm willing to let go of the first Katarina. I'm willing to let go of the first Katarina so that we can actually glimpse her.
No going back.
And just do it like that. If the opponent doesn't commit the removal right now, I'm going to attack with both instead of trying to remove the Fallen Feline, because we can always keep the Blaze Edge to stop like a Viktor. If the opponent commits Viktor here, I still think we go Blaze Edge on the Viktor. They're actually digging. Wow, so they're actually digging for the removal. They don't have it. Oh, if we had the Shadow Out Tailstones here, this would be so good. Because we could stop a Mystic, we could stop an Aftershock, we could stop a High Note. Whoa, they actually had to go for the stun instead. That's crazy. I guess we'll go here. We know that the opponent's going to be able to kill this Phantom Butler anyways. Wow, that's so bad for them. Let them kill it. I'm okay with that. We have Sentry Flock for a Viktor next turn, if anything. Or we can play the Fallen Reckoner if the opponent doesn't play Viktor. Opponent's desperately digging for a way to remove this Katarina now. Whew, this feels bad for them. I can tell you that much. They probably want to do the bar. Oh, and there we go. So we go Sentry. I think I prefer to do the Sentry Flock, by the way, instead of trying to go for the Fallen Reckoner. Because that way we're not playing the Viktor roulette, right? We know we can just kill Viktor here with Flock. And we can also commit the House Spider to go even wider, allowing us to have a pretty big open attack next turn. Now, opponent prefers to play Barkeep next turn. So I think I actually wanna open attack, right? I want to open attack with everything. Thermal? Okay, so they have thermal. So they have thermal. So now that they have the thermal, is the open attack still correct? They just didn't want to commit the thermal last turn? I feel like that's so greedy. So opponent wants to Barkeep. Like that, this deck always wants to Barkeep. If they can. So what I want to do is that I want to just develop. Because developing doesn't hurt me here. if I just attack and the opponent plays Barkeep, I think that's like a waste. It's always just better off to develop and just push as much damage as we can. I'm willing to give the opponent a good block, right? So no matter what, we know that the opponent's gonna be able to block one of these 2 health units. So let's just go like this. Yeah, they get the block here. They still go to 4. And even though they have the Barkeep, what does it matter? You still go all the way down to 4, just because we were able to go this way. We can remove the Barkeep with the Flock, and then have the Fallen Reckoner for another unit, but we don't have to do that just yet. Oh, honestly, let's do it. I like doing this now. I like removing this Barkeep now, before the opponent potentially has like a heal, because we know that the next blocker they have is gonna get removed by the Reckoner anyways. So there's no reason for me to play it slow. Like, whatever they have is gonna get removed like this, whether it's Viktor, Seraphine, or anything else.
I don't do meditation.
Disciple, okay, so that doesn't matter. We can Bow Fist this too. Force a twin out of them. Could force the twin out of them. Another thing that we could do here is actually go Fallen, the Wound Reckoner, right? We could do the Wound Reckoner and force the opponent to have an answer for the Gwen. Which they could have an answer now, which is why I don't like the Reckoner as much anymore. I'm gonna Bow Fist this before the opponent commits the attack, because I don't want to pass again and the opponent pass back to us. And then we play the Reckoner on the Fan Cup President. Okay, well, I gotta wait now. I gotta wait before I can actually do that. Now, the Blinding Assault was created by the bar, huh? Okay, so they have a Mystic or something like that? So now we can do this. Boom. Now the opponent has no blockers. I didn't want to do it on the Balor because we knew that the Balor was gonna just die. Yeah, opponent's gonna... Well, okay. That's not a bad draw. That's not a bad draw from them. But they still have to remove both my units here. They have to remove both my units, and we still have access to the Reckoner. I like the open attack. I like the open attack to play around a potential stun, like a concussive pump, because they are in Ionia. Opponent has to remove both, and then they're still losing to... Oh, you're just recalling them? So if you're recalling them... Do I glimpse this? I don't know that I do. I think I just take the recall. We can force the Karma to block, right? So we can force... Actually, we can just go Gwen. Yeah, because we can force the Karma to block with the Wound Reckoner. I forgot that I had exactly 8. For some reason, I thought I only had 7. So I figured that I wasn't going to be able to actually play the Gwen and the Reckoner again. But we did have 8, so we can play both. That's the one of Karma gone. The Thankful President still does nothing. Opponent is still down to 3. And then we can still play the Reckoner against any other blocker that the opponent has. And still have the host available as well. By killing the Karma, I think I feel safe. Killing the Karma makes you feel a lot safer. Because it means that I don't have to worry about opponent duplicating the spells to remove like all my stuff. The Gwen is going to put them at 1. Man, that well was actually kind of annoying, huh? Because I had a lot of 1 health units. So the double unworthy soul is fine because it doesn't actually kill my units. So at least we force that out of them. Opponent could have another answer here. Portopalooza, so they're looking for blockers. Of course, they get one. They get a blocker right away. We can play the Phantom Butler. If the opponent... Yeah, I was gonna say, why would you attack with that? Really? You want to attack with that? You sure? You sure? Are you sure? 100% sure. I already know the 2 5-cost spells that you use, right? You use the Portopalooza now, and you do the well. So I know you don't have any more created cards. That makes the most sense to me. We could have leveled up Gwen, but I don't think it's worth it. This has Fearsome, so it's gonna go through the scamp anyways. And we still have Glimpse available in case the opponent tries to remove one of our units now. So I don't think I commit the host, because I want to have Glimpse to be able to, stop a removal spell right here, while still getting a bunch of draws. So this is gonna put them down to 1, and any of my units hitting is enough. This one has Overwhelm, this one has Fearsome. This one is just this one. Opponent cool, stop. Alright, what is it? What is it? With 3 mana, what could they have? Mystic? High note? High note to kill both of these? Alright. So now we just go for the glimpse. Opponent got the falling feline. And we're back to having a full board of units. I guess opponent could technically find it out. They have 2 cards. They have 2 cards. They have 2 cards. If we start here first, and we have Flock, and we have Sentry plus Host to remove their blockers, can they ever get enough blockers? I guess like Seraphine into the Sparkling Sun Spinner could be problematic. Wish I would have gotten something better. A second fan club president, so a second well actually ruins my day, huh? Like fully ruins my day. What if we glimpse this? What if we glimpse the Reckoner? What if he's actually glimpsing the Reckoner?
Her songs just make you feel like you can do anything.
Does that make sense? I'm gonna play it slow. I might not even put the host. Yeah, okay, opponent. Okay. I was thinking about a second well was enough because he gets rid of all my other units, right? Second well, we're getting rid of all my units, and then he can block the sentry. So opponent will actually be in a 6. That would have been really problematic, but opponent didn't get the second well, so we ended up kind of lucking out there. So GG's. In this matchup, we're gonna go against Shopping Malls, playing Kennen Ahri. So we have the Sentry Flock combo. Eternal Dancer seems a little bit too greedy right now. The Fourier actually seems really good. Do I need the Sentry Flock combo? I might be okay keeping this. Okay, we get Gwen as well. That seems pretty good. So I like the Sentry Flock combo as kind of like a way to save myself in case the opponent goes super aggro. Because this is going to be an elusive deck that tries to play Spirits Unleashed and both other elusives up. So I'm gonna need the stun to kind of keep myself alive. I actually don't think they play as many recalls as standard like Ahri Kennen lists. So it might be okay. Now I'd rather play the House Spider instead of saving the Battlefield because we do need to go aggro. We need to go a little bit more aggressive against their units. So this lets me do that. Usually most of the recall that they have is just gonna be like their units, not really a lot of actual, how do I say it? Like, yeah, they're gonna have like Ahri, right? They're gonna have Ahri, and that's pretty much it. They're gonna play the Shaman Wind. So I actually think it's better to just start putting the Fourier in. I think it's too early for the Sentry. I think we put the Fourier. We give them the draw, which sucks, but I think it's okay. We block the Ahri with this, so we're still okay, and then we can still heal up with the Gwen, and we start having all the Hallow buffs in the graveyard, which is gonna put more pressure on them over time than if we delayed our opening Fourier, right? So we'll go ahead and do it this way. Could we have Biofeast this? Sure, but again, I think I don't want to delay. I don't want to delay my opening Fourier. We take 4 damage here. We know we're gonna be able to heal 2 up because of Gwen. Opponent gets to progress this to 3, and that's what I need to be scared of. I need to be scared of this Ahri level up, but the opponent's recalling all their units, so like they're gonna have a hard time stopping all this damage that I'm gonna be doing. We definitely commit the Gwen here just so that I can go up to 17 health, and also the Gwen is gonna have the potential of leveling up. I guess opponent could have a Homecoming technically, but if they do, they have to do it now. And they don't really have a good target for their Homecoming because all they have is Ahri on the field. They will have to commit the Dancing Droplet and then Homecoming. Now, I do think we buff the Spiderling up just so that everything has 2 power. Opponent could play Spirits Unleashed here. Okay, it's just gonna be the stun. Alright, cool. We still go like this then. Let the opponent sacrifice the dragon and we still push forward. We still keep spiraling to block if we need to. And then next turn. I think next turn is where we want to do Sentry, right? So next turn we can do Sentry, we can do the Flock, and we can do the Bow Fix if we need to. And that's going to be pretty good, because opponent's going to be in a very tough spot, especially if we're able to remove a couple of their units here. We could also just let them recall their units, because they're not going to have, I mean, they are going to be able to level up Ahri. They are going to be able to level up Ahri if they play the Morn and the Shaman Wing. Otherwise, they don't really have a way to level her up. Let's wait for the opponent to tap out first before we commit for the Sentry into the Ahri. Sentry, Flock, and Battle Feast on the Droplet. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, I did not expect that. I'll be completely honest, I did not expect that. Question is, do we commit the Gwen here? Or do we just go for the Eternal Dancers? Or we can also go for the Phantom Butler, wait for the Sentry, and do the Sentry Flock that way. Opponent could easily have the stun again. We could just push this damage here. That's gonna be... I think I like pushing the damage. We get the guarantee 2 from Gwen. Play around a second concussive bomb. Opponent's gonna have to sacrifice something here. They could have the Homecoming now, which means that they could have a way to stop the Battle Feast. But I think if we top ourselves to 17 HP, they shouldn't have a way to really stop this. Right? And I'm okay doing this Battle Feast, and this is gonna force the opponent to have an answer. Okay, Nullify. I'm cool with that, right? So that's one less Nullify that goes into our Flock. Now the Ahri is close to leveling up. But again, I don't think the Ahri is going to be enough, even if the opponent actually commits it this turn. We have another guarantee 2 damage here. I wish I had my Overwhelms. My Overwhelms will have made this attack so much better, right? Would have made this so much better. Let's go Gwen. I want to save the Sentry for next turn. Because I feel like if I try to go for the stun and block, opponent could have the 2-drop to save the Ahri. Oh, that's a huge draw too. Spirit Journey is a little bit too expensive though. I don't think that the opponent can kill lethal here, right? Even if the Ahri levels up. 3, 6, 9. It's gonna be 9, 12, 15 if the opponent has like a full board of units. And they will still need to commit. Might be playing with fire. If the opponent has like, okay, so they do have the Spirits Unleashed now, right? So they have the Spirits Unleashed, which is able to kill our Phantom Butler. But now that actually just makes that the Flock can actually go through. Sure. You know what? I'm gonna commit the Flock now. If the opponent has a second Ahri, we can stop it with the Sentry. Opponent probably shouldn't attack with the Morn. Oh, the Hookmaster? Okay, that doesn't bother me. At most you're pushing 5. We play Eternal Dancers. We get to push 2 more. You go down to 6. The problem is that we don't have any Overwhelms. We will have the Fearsome coming back. Yes, we will have the Fearsome coming back, but that's only gonna push 3. Plus the 2 here, that's only gonna be 5. That's not enough. That's not enough, unfortunately. Opponent's gonna actually be able to get there. Oh. Wow. I really need this Overwhelm. That's just as good as well. Opponent's gonna have to have a stun for this. To stop this Katarina. Otherwise, we'll be able to actually recall and play her again this turn. And they're digging. They're digging for it. So that's good. That's good news. That is good news. What if... So this is 2, right? The Fearsome is going to be 3. That's going to be 5. Opponent's gonna... we can force the opponent to block with the Morn. I think I like doing this. think I like doing this, getting rid of the elusive first. We can get rid of the second fearsome blocker with the sentry. Because let me verify. Unless the opponent could get a fearsome blocker here now, right? Yeah, they did. Yeah, because this is gonna bring back the fearsome. I can still force them to have to block with the Morn. But then that taps me out of the Katarina. Opponent obviously has access to... We tapped out of the Spirit Journey here. We tapped out of the Spirit Journey. So I guess we go like this.
What a joy.
We tapped out of the Spirit Journey by using the one cost spell. So we're not able to stop a Homecoming here. Or a stun in the Katarina. I mean, we were never able to stop a stun in the Katarina anyways, but we could have stopped the Homecoming by having the Spirit Journey available. Putting this size... Okay, I was gonna say, you have to block this fearsome, right? And then you're gonna be stunning this girl. If the opponent gets greedy here, they have to block everything, because if they get greedy, the Shadow Owls could put them... The Mark of the Owls could put them in a tough spot. They have to have the stun here. Or the recall, sorry. Which they're gonna recall the Droplet. We still should be in a good spot because the opponent's gonna lose both their elusives, or at least one of them, unless they recall this one. Wait, you just lose to the Katarina. But opponent, you just wait. You just lose to the Katarina. Did opponent forget that Katarina levels up? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Huh. We also get another Ghastly Band, by the way. That's why the Foyer is so good in this deck.
Never.
So we still have a 5 wide board because of the Eternal Dancers. Yeah. Okay. Alright. We'll go like this and finish the game, and the opponent doesn't even let us see it. I wanted to get the Gwen level up. Alright, so I was thinking about that turn so hard, and the opponent actually just didn't have the Homecoming or the stun, right? Because they really had used 2 of them this game, so he made the Katarina probably the best job we could have gotten in that turn, so GG's. In this matchup, we're gonna go against Leona Aphelios. So this is gonna be the deck that What Am I brought to get to the top 16 at Worlds. Seems pretty good, seems very, very good in my opinion. I think I'm actually gonna hard mulligan everything. I like keeping the Gwen. I want to see if I can get Katarina or the Reckoners. Now the Sentry Flock is a good combo. Maybe I actually should have kept. Okay, we got the Sentry back anyways. I was thinking I should have kept the Fearsome potentially. We get the House Spiders though. That could be good enough. I really wanted to get Flock, right? So Flock will be very good in this matchup because I need to be able to remove this Leona. But the Reckoner is also really good. Allow me to remove their blockers.
Only a fool would enter battle unprepared.
This is a little bit awkward actually, because we don't have a lot of early board presence. This is going to be really good once we have Katarina on the field, potentially. This could be the surprise factor that wins us the game, depending on how our turns kind of shape out. It's going to be a long one. Aphelios is going to be problematic. An opponent obviously has... We don't have the Flock, right? And the opponent has the Dust Petal. So the Aphelios will be able to put a lot of pressure on us without us being able to actually remove it. Let's go ahead and play the House Spider. I'm down to take that 3, to be honest. The only downside is that we don't have a good attack next turn, and we don't have any of our Halo buffs to actually start putting a lot of pressure on the opponent. So our hand is really, really slow. Opponent shouldn't be playing Aphelios next turn. Yeah, there's no reason for them to play Aphelios this turn. I guess we can play the second House Spider. This hand does not look great. Yeah, this hand does not look great whatsoever. Opponent doesn't even need to block. I guess we can slowly whittle them down with the Gwen, but the Gwen is just gonna get Vengeance. Gwen is just gonna get Vengeance. We don't have a Glimpse. We don't have Katarina. Phantom Butler comes a little bit too late. Protector. Let's go here. I should probably start blocking, by the way. I should probably start blocking with the Spiderlings. So I absolutely need to start blocking with the Spiderlings. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna block with my whole board. I don't want to take all this extra damage because eventually the opponent's gonna have access to their Winding Light. And that's gonna be problematic for us to deal with. So I don't want to have to deal with the Winding Light eventually. Let's go ahead and kill the Protector, heal one up, get another blocker. We do the Fallen Reckoner. I know we're tapping out of mana, but if the opponent has the Sunburst, if the opponent has the Sunburst or the Vengeance, that they can get it. They're looking for a big Winding Light turn, right? So it looks pretty obvious here that it's going to be a Winding Light, especially with the double Dust Petal, to commit it next turn. So at this point, I don't want to take as much damage. Now the Leona is going to be a little bit annoying here. Or opponent might just, okay, they're just gonna Sunburst. Okay, so they're gonna Sunburst here. Obviously, this means that we don't get the value in this card. We'll go here. Yeah, so we don't get the Reckoner back. I think that's a bet that I was willing. That's a bet that I'm willing to take, just because the opponent is gonna have a lot of pressure here with how much damage gonna put in. Now we do have the Sentry, which is very nice. Allows me to get rid of one of their attackers. And then we'll have Flock to stop the rest. So it will be a very early Winding Light. Opponent only has 4 cards, so we might be able to just kind of run them out of resources. Ahri is not even that good because the Reckoner got hit by the Sunburst, so it got obliterated, so it's not in our graveyard. We got this glimpse a little bit too late. We got this glimpse just a little bit too late. Ironically, if the opponent doesn't have Winding Light, if the opponent doesn't have Winding Light, then I don't understand why they didn't block last time at all, right?
Behold the divine power of the sun.
Okay, so they're gonna try to kill Gwen.
Daylight breaks on the battlefield.
They're gonna try to kill Gwen.
Splendor revealed.
But we can just go like this. So the Leona, so they're setting up, so they kept the Leona. That Leona came all the way from the right. So they kept the Leona from the start of the game and decided not to play her last time because they wanted to just Sunburst instead. I guess I respect it. They're keeping the whole board because they want to go for the big Winding Light turn. So I'm going to play Phantom Butler. I'm going to go super wide attack so that the opponent feels forced to block. Because if they don't block, they're going to be taking way too much damage. So I'm going to just go for a super wide attack. We have this. Pushes everything. This pushes damage to everything. Honestly, I'm even going to play the Spiderlings. We have access to block, so if the opponent actually tries to block with anything. Yeah, I'm sorry, I just dropped my phone. That was way too loud. I knew it was coming too. That's why I say, yeah. I want to just clear their board. I think if I clear their board and kind of keep them out of pressure, they might not have a good chance to actually get here. Whoa! So they're getting greedy here. This is so greedy. I don't think this is correct by them. I'm gonna just glimpse. I'm gonna just glimpse, get rid of a battle piece and a little bit of healing. Whoa. Oh. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
We'll make something totally new.
Huh. I don't know. I don't know what to think about this. They have to have the win. That's all you had? You just had a Sunburst? That's it? You have to have the Winding Light, right? So the cards that they had in their hand the whole time when we thought that they had a Winding Light was Leona and Sunburst. I'm trying to debate if this is worth saving. I mean, it's gonna get hit by. What if we actually kill Leona? What if we actually kill Leona? By going for the crumble. Let's go Fallen Reckoner first. But then we're giving him the stun, right? We're giving him the stun. We should, if we were gonna do it, we have to do it right away. We should, because we're giving him the stun. I guess the opponent has a choice. They can stun or they can play Winding Light. Oh, this is gonna win us the game next turn now. Okay, so they're gonna play for the Winding Light, so they don't get the stun. They don't get the stun anymore, and we can just kill the Leona. And there it is. It's still killing Leona. So if we go here, crumble, that's 5 mana. We get left with 9 minus 5. So we get left with 4, and we have 9. So we're gonna have 12 next turns. That's enough for this. We could just play the Reckoner, but then the Leona will stay on the field, allowing them to be able to stun us next turn. I like the crumble. Yeah, I think I like the crumble. I like the crumble and the Leona. We're gonna go here so that we don't lose to a battle feast. It also means that the opponent has a Leona spell. It's not a big deal. Here we can block this 4/4, and then we can block the Winding Light, and when we play the Harrowade, we'll be able to actually get rid of the Winding Light as a blocker. Actually, we can just block this Winding Light too if we wanted to. We could just flock the Winding Light if we want to. I don't think that's worth it, right? I think we just go for the Harrowing, because I want to have enough mana to be able to play House Battle, because the Harrowing is going to get rid of the blocker anyways, right? So the Harrowing gets rid of the blocker anyways, and that's game. Yeah, the Harrowing gets rid of the blocker regardless. The Winding Light, opponent and mostly have Leona, and we're still way too wide, even if the opponent has Leona, for us to actually feel like we're under threat. So, GG's. And again, I'm sorry about dropping my phone. It happens so often when I'm recording, so I'm sorry for the random big noise. Now, in this matchup, we're going against Jinx Lulu. Jinx Lulu Pandusi. Aggro could be a little problematic for us. But we do have Gwen, we have the Sentry, we have the Battle Feast, we have the Fallen Reckoner. I'm actually super inclined to keep this whole hand. Because this is going to work... Oh, the opponent also kept their whole hand. This is going to work with the Flock, and there we go, we top deck the Flock. So this is going to be really good with the Flock to be able to kill their Jinx or their Lulu. We can Battle Feast like the Squire right now to just get rid of the blocker and give ourselves another blocker. We're going to have the Gwen to actually be able to heal back up too. I think this is feeling pretty good right now, because if the opponent commits the Lulu on the next turn, maybe we don't go after the Lulu anymore. Maybe we want to wait for the Jinx, because I think the Jinx is probably more important than the Lulu, right? Opponent decided to discard the Jerry Rig instead of whatever they created from the Yoru Squire, which makes sense. Alright, I guess we'll go... I really don't want to spend this. But this is also kind of annoying to deal with. I think we're gonna go like this. We're gonna go like this, and we can clear the whole board if worse comes to worse. Jinx is gonna be problematic. Jinx is gonna be the only problematic issue here, because we can block the Squeaker. We can block this one. We can play the Gwen. The opponent keeps the Sculler, but I think I'm fine kind of clearing their board and just taking as little damage as possible. I didn't want to give the opponent the free clear here, because I mean I think I'm gonna need this. We can play Gwen. Having the second one is actually not bad, because it means that we can actually... Okay.
What a joy.
Yeah, I want to keep this back. I know technically this is gonna die to like a Jinx Rocket, but I think I'd rather keep this back to kind of block the opponent's aggression. This is only pushing 1 damage anyways, so I'm cool with this. We can play the Fallen Reckoner, but that's only gonna get rid of the Chompers, which doesn't seem worth it. You know what? Let's do it now. Let's give ourselves another blocker. We're just never gonna touch that Sculler. Opponent cannot kill this Reckoner. We're gonna take 5, but we're gonna heal 2. So this fight doesn't mean anything. The reason I wanted to do this now is because if I give the opponent the chance of summoning the Chompers, then obviously they'll be able to just do whatever they want. What I like here is actually the foyer, but I could also just do Eternal Dances. I mean, all I have here though is a little, I don't have a lot. Let's go Eternal Dancers. Let's go Eternal Dancers. I just push a lot of damage, right? Because this is going to create another unit, although it's going to just create the spider. It also means that if the opponent for some reason kills one of these two units, we'll be able to bounce it back with the Eternal Dancers. Okay, opponent's just break. Alright, so this game is just over because opponent's just like absolutely break. We go like this. Gwen is gonna level up. We get to heal 2 back up. We get to push a ton of damage here. This is almost lethal. Gwen is gonna be leveled up. Opponent's gonna go down to 6 HP. And we have a Gwen Thread the Needle and a Foyer. The Thread the Needle means that we can actually kill a Jinx that comes out next turn. It's kind of funny. I mean, this is probably the most useless Eternal Dancers I've ever seen. I mean, I still think it's good because obviously it's 2 units, but it's literally so useless because it's not really creating any hollow units, right? There's the Lulu, so opponent can actually kill one of these 2, which is probably going to be the Eternal Dancers, which all that does is that it just gives us another hollow. We can actually go the Foyer. You actually going to hit it. Okay. So we're gonna block like this. We're not gonna block the Urchin because I don't want to lose my Gwen to a Get Excited. We go Foyer. We go Reckoner. We attack with Gwen. Opponent could have the way to remove her. They could have double Get Excited here. Okay, they cannot have double Get Excited anymore. They have to have Mystic and Get Excited. They will have to have Mystic and Get Excited, and that means that they lose their whole hand. And there we go. GG's. Unfortunately, opponent hand was a little bit break, but even if they had like the champions earlier, I think we had the ways to kill her, right? Like if they summon Lulu on turn 3, we could have just stunned her and then deflocked the same way. So yeah, GG's. In this match, we're gonna go against Vayne Kayn. So this is the deck that I showcased the other day. The Quietus is gonna be really good in this matchup. I don't know if I like the Battle Feast. The Glimpse is a little bit greedy. I think I want to go for my early units first. The Reckoner feels really, really nice. I just don't know if I can greed it out with this hand. Oh, that feels so bad to get rid of it. I think I have to get rid of it. I think I need to go for like an early presence, right? I think I need to go for like an early presence. And, okay, this is a little bit too early now. And the Reckoner was just not going to be enough. I actually do regret getting rid of it now, though. Block is also going to be really good in this matchup, so I would love to see the block if I can. Katarina, though, is pretty nice. So I'm going to save my mana. I'm going to save my mana and play Katarina here. And just have access to the Blaze Edge to kind of... Because the opponent really doesn't have a way to remove this, right? So opponent doesn't really have a way to remove this Katarina here without losing their Bane in the process. So this way we get the process on the Katarina.
Gets in my way.
And get her leveled up right away and start putting a lot of pressure this way. We can remove whatever equipment the opponent might play here with Quietus. I'm gonna commit the Blaze Edge here, make the opponent think that I have Flock, so that the opponent is always gonna be scared of actually doing anything on this Bane, right? Why wait until after? I guess by doing it this way they're able to heal up, right? That's pretty smart. So the opponent waited until after I did my Blaze Edge. That way the Bane actually stays healed up. That makes sense. Okay, I was wondering. I was like, why did they wait? But by doing it that way, you get like a pseudo heal, right? You kind of get like a pseudo heal from the thing that is actually able to keep you alive. I think I'm still gonna go Katarina again. I think I'm just gonna put this pressure. Opponent knows that I don't have Flock anymore, but they won't be able to use Tumble. And eventually they have to stop blocking this Katarina. They won't be able to use Tumble. Okay, they're just gonna Cataclysm. Okay. So we lose Katarina, but the opponent loses their elusive, which I think sets them behind just as much. I'm willing to let the opponent commit this block here because I want to be able to kill this Vayne with my Battle Feast because I think that's going to be more important.
Purified bolts.
So I think being able to kill this Vayne with Battle Feast is going to be really crucial for us to kind of get through to her. We can actually kill the Kayn with the Quietus without actually destroying the equipment. So we Battle Feast this. I guess opponent could have a Sharp Side or something to save this, which would be annoying but not impossible to deal with. Whoa, I don't know if I like that. Okay, so opponent only has 1 mana. I don't think they have a way to stop this. So they're gonna go down to 6 with 1 mana left. We have Sentry, we have Quietus for their equipment. They do have the Tumble, so they're relying on the Kayn. They're relying on the Kayn here. Right? We can deny the Kayn level up by going the Glimpse. So we can start with Quietus on the Kayn, and if the opponent has momentous choice, we can actually just Glimpse. So if opponent needs a momentous, and that's game. Doesn't have momentous choice. Wow. Oh man, that was. I guess I understand why they did it, right? I understand why they did it, but he ends up just kind of falling flat. I don't need to do anything here because I'm just gonna fall in Reckoner and get rid of the Vayne and just attack with everything. Opponent's gonna level up Vayne and she's gonna just die to my Fallen Reckoner. So the opponent doesn't even actually get to keep Vayne on the field anymore. Yeah. Wow. They don't have a way to stop this at burst speed. So we just win on the spot. We deal the 7. And GG's. Oh man, not having the momentous shifts with the Quietus just completely stole that any game plan they had of potentially coming back. So hey, welcome back everybody. Hope you enjoyed today's games and you can kind of see why this deck is powerful and why everybody was playing this deck in the regional qualifiers, including myself. It puts a lot of pressure on the opponent. The Fallen Reckoners, you see how much they can carry. Harrowing can just become a win on the spot type of card, right? They really nerf Harrowing because of this deck, but I do think they really need to look into nerfing the Fallen Reckoner and the Risen Reckoner because they just put so much pressure. They just put way too much pressure on the opponents to actually be able to, for them to come back. In terms of mulligan, honestly, a lot of times I like to get greedy, right? I'm looking for Katarina. I talked about it when I was doing the deck breakdown earlier. I think Katarina can carry this deck if she levels up early. So I'm looking for Katarina, I'm looking for Gwen, I'm looking for the Opulent Foyer so that I can start stacking those Hallows. And then obviously you're looking for like the host or like all the early units like the Butler. If you really have a good enough early hand, then maybe you can keep the Fallen Reckoner, right? Because the Fallen Reckoner also carries a lot of your games, right? But I'm really looking for at least my champions to start out with, and then keeping some of the early units as well as the Landmark. And if I'm going against like the Masia, maybe I'm keeping like a Flock. If I'm going against something like a Seraphine, maybe I'm keeping like a Quietus, at least one of, so I can deal with them. But for the most part, just look for your champions or your key cards and then kind of go from there. But enough about that. Hope you enjoyed today's games, and if you did, make sure to like the video below and subscribe to us. We post LoR videos every single day. You can also find us on Twitch and Sirturmund, where we stream 3 to 4 times a week. And if you're watching this tonight on Monday night, then I'm probably streaming right now. It's my return to streaming on Twitch after a whole month plus month break. I don't know how to say that word, hiatus. But anyways, you can also find us on Discord and Twitter. The links to those are up in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again tomorrow.